This is a truly haunted horror movie. The name of the film is Ghost Doll Sabrina. Its horror level is almost like a banned movie. It can make your whole body feel cold with fear. Tag your brave friend and watch it together. The story begins. A girl named Vanya sees some of her classmates playing a spirit calling game on the playground. On the spirit board, the words yes and no are written. It is said that if you call a spirit and ask a question, the pen on the board will move by itself and give an answer. The students watching nearby do not believe in such a childish game. They start making fun of a boy and ask him if he wets his bed at night. In the very next second, the pen on the board points to yes. The children think the boy is just tricking them, so they all leave. But this strange moment catches Vanya's attention. She quickly asks the boy how to use the spirit board. She hopes she can see her mother again. It turns out that Vanya's mother died many years ago. At a young age, she lost her mother and misses her very much. After hearing her request, the boy lends her the spirit board and teaches her how to perform the ritual. That same night, Vanya cannot wait and starts using it. She says, "Charlie, Charlie, can you play with us?" In the next second, the board begins to move. Although she feels scared, Vanya asks if her mother's spirit is present. After getting the answer yes, she quickly grabs her tablet. She opens an app called Spirit Finder. Then she starts searching around the room. While she is deeply involved in the ritual, she does not know that outside the house there is thunder and lightning. It feels like something terrifying is about to appear. As the strange energy becomes stronger, Vanya walks into a storage room. There, she sees a shadow sitting not far away. Vanya screams in fear. Then she realizes that the person in front of her is her Aunt Mary. When Mary learns that Vanya tried to call her mother's spirit, she feels very sad for her. Instead of scolding her for staying awake late at night, Mary gives her a doll. She hopes the doll will heal Vanya's young heart. However, after Mary leaves, the doll suddenly starts moving in a strange way. The next day, Mary notices that Vanya is no longer sad like before. She stands in front of Mary with a strange smile. It seems like she has moved on from the pain of losing both her parents. But that same day, after Vanya goes to school, strange things start happening to Mary. While she is sewing clothes, she suddenly hears the sound of a music box. But Vanya has already gone to school. Why is the music box playing by itself? Feeling confused, Mary quickly walks into Vanya's bedroom. Without thinking much, she turns off the music box and leaves the room. But the moment she closes the door, the music box starts playing again. When she goes back inside to turn it off again, she suddenly sees that the doll is now sitting on the chair. Mary walks up, pushes the doll aside, and checks if the music box is broken. But in the next second, the doll on the chair suddenly turns its head and stares at her in a creepy way. Mary feels chills all over her body. She quickly walks out of the room. Seeing the housemaid cleaning nearby, she finally feels a little relieved. That night, Vanya tries again. Since she could not see her mother's spirit, she performs the second spirit calling ritual. Following the tablet's instructions, Vanya really sees a shadow in the camera, but she still cannot see her mother, and she feels very sad. Aiden heard a noise and quickly ran into the room. He opened the cupboard and rescued Vanya from inside. But Aiden did not believe Vanya's explanation at all. He thought she was just talking nonsense. To punish her, Aiden took away her tablet. However, that same night, Vanya secretly went into her uncle's room and stole the tablet back. During the spiritual session, she truly saw her mother's ghost. Her mother took Vanya back to her room and, just like before, gently helped her fall asleep. The next morning, Mary went upstairs to call Vanya for breakfast. While closing the door, she heard Vanya talking to someone. Confused, she opened the door again, but found no one there. She thought the child was just lost in her own fantasy world. After several minutes passed, Aiden and Mary still did not see Vanya come downstairs to eat. They were about to go upstairs to check, when suddenly a doll blocked their way. Seeing the doll near the storage room door, Mary walked inside. Strangely, the doll followed her into the room. Suddenly, a slight noise was heard. Mary quickly turned her head to look, but the scary doll had disappeared without a trace. Following the sound, Mary moved closer to a suspicious piece of cloth. In the next moment, Vanya told Mary that she had used her classmate's spirit board to call her mother's ghost. She also said she was playing hide and seek with her mother. When the uncle heard this, he thought Vanya still had not recovered from the trauma of her parents' death, so he decided to take the family to the beach to relax and help Vanya heal emotionally. But while Mary was checking something strange happened. The moment she lifted her head, the beach, which was full of people just seconds before, suddenly became completely empty. At that time, Vanya again started talking to herself. Mary told Vanya that her mother was no longer alive, but Vanya said that her mother was standing right behind her. Mary did not turn around. She calmly told Vanya that the person behind her was her husband, Aiden. Seeing that Vanya refused to listen, Mary decided to explain everything to her husband. But the moment she turned around, two 2 big hands suddenly came out of the sand behind her. Hearing the noise, Aidan rushed over and after great effort managed to save Mary. But after escaping danger, Mary noticed that Fanya was standing not far away, staring at her in a strange way. After such a terrifying experience, Mary could not sleep that night. Suddenly, there was a loud knock on the door, but when she opened it, she found no one there. At that moment, the sound of a piano began to play. Curious and confused, Mary walked into the hotel lobby. There, she saw a white figure playing the piano. As Mary moved closer, she could not believe her eyes, because the figure was Fanya's dead mother, Adini. Mary was extremely scared. In the next second, something even more frightening happened. Adini slowly removed her hat, then turned her head and transformed into a much more terrifying female ghost. In the next second, the female ghost jumped toward her. Mary ran as fast as she could and hid in a nearby storage room. The moment she turned on the light, Aidan heard the noise and rushed in again to save her. Mary quickly pulled her husband and ran to the hotel lobby, saying that she had seen Adini there. They searched the lobby for a long time, but found nothing. Just then, a security monitor nearby suddenly turned on. On the screen, a white ghostly figure was clearly moving closer to them, but when they turned around, there was nothing there. In the next moment, the ghost threw both of them high into the air. They fell heavily onto the ground. Then they saw the terrifying female ghost crawling toward them in a very strange position. The two of them quickly ran out of the hall, rushed into their room, and locked the door. But in the next second, the ghost began hitting the door wildly. Seeing this, Mary quickly hung her protective charm on the door handle. Only then did the evil spirit leave. After this, Mary and Aidan went to find an exorcist. After briefly understanding the situation, the exorcist, Laro, invited Fanya to perform another spirit session with him. The purpose was to confirm whether the ghost was really Fanya's mother. After Fanya asked a few questions, they finally confirmed the mother's identity. Then they sent Fanya back to her room and prepared for the exorcism ritual. However, after Fanya left, the spirit board stopped moving completely. As Laro kept questioning it, the board suddenly caught fire and burned fiercely. At the same time, the lights in Fanya's room suddenly went out, and Fanya mysteriously disappeared. When the maid finally found Fanya, she realized that he was possessed by a ghost. Just like that, the possessed Fanya killed the maid. Then he ran downstairs and stabbed Laro badly with a pair of scissors. Seeing this, everyone worked together to control Fanya. 2 exorcists began performing their ritual. When it seemed that Fanya's mother's spirit had been sent away, everyone felt relieved. But in the next second, the evil ghost suddenly appeared in front of them again. Knowing they could not defeat it, they hurriedly ran outside the house. Aidan and the exorcist Galen ran back to Fanya's room and brought out the maid's body and the doll. Then Galen used a protective charm to seal the evil spirit inside the villa. Later, Laro told Mary that the ghost was not Fanya's mother. It was a demon named Baccia. He then performed another ritual to reveal the truth from 1 year ago. It turned out that 1 year earlier, Adini had been possessed by Baccia. Because of this, Fanya's father was brutally killed. Since Adini had been possessed for more than 2 days, she could not be saved. So Laro had to cut off Adini's head to drive Baccia away. This time, Baccia returned to the human world for revenge against Laro. To finally end the demon Baccia, Laro and Galen returned to the villa once again. But they could not find any sign of the demon. What they did not know was that Baccia had already possessed Fanya's doll and came with them to a doll factory. As expected, when Mary was walking alone inside the factory, she once again saw that terrifying figure. Mary quickly shouted for everyone to run, but just as Mary reached the door, Baccia dragged her back inside. By the time Laro and Galen arrived, Mary was already possessed by Baccia. At this moment, Baccia had become extremely powerful. After a fierce battle, Laro and the others were badly injured. With no other choice, Laro escaped back to the villa with Galen. Using their knowledge of the place, the 3 of them finally managed to control Baccia. Baccia told Laro that he had been invited from hell by someone, but he did not receive the reward that was promised to him. Because of that, he could not return to hell. In the end, Laro looked into Baccia's memories and finally learned the truth from many years ago. Many years earlier, Aidan's parents had died. The family property was left without a clear owner, but because Aidan was lazy and careless, he did not receive his father's inheritance. This made him hate his older brother, who received all the property. So Aidan secretly found an evil wizard to help him take the family wealth. However, Baccia's condition was that he would take over his sister-in-law's body and live in the human world through her. Although Aidan felt guilty, his greed was stronger. He made a deal with Baccia. That same night, Baccia possessed Adini and stood on the wall in a terrifying and unnatural way. Fanya's father could do nothing about it. Even the doctors were helpless. In the end, he invited Laro and Galen to perform an exorcism. They successfully drove Baccia away, but Fanya's father lost his life in the process. Although Aidan's wish came true, Baccia failed to stay in the human world. So when Fanya later tried to call her mother's spirit, Baccia attached himself to the doll, waiting for another chance to return. After learning the truth, Laro looked at Aidan in disbelief. In a moment of carelessness, Baccia found an opportunity and possessed Aidan's body. A male body was much stronger than a female one. With just one hand, Baccia lifted Galen and threw him many meters away. Laro knew he was not strong enough to win directly, so he quickly hid in a nearby room. Now he had nowhere left to escape. Remembering that Baccia had killed his husband and child, Laro decided to fight with all his strength. As Baccia rushed toward him, Laro used his protective charm to lock around Baccia's neck once again. Meanwhile, Galen told Mary to return to the factory and bring the object that Baccia had possessed. Then Galen stabbed the doll with a knife. As the doll turned into ashes, Baccia was forced out. But in the next second, Baccia appeared inside a nearby mirror. Laro and Galen worked together to break the mirror, forcing Baccia to show his true form. Seeing this, Laro picked up his sacred weapon, an exorcism blade, and attacked Baccia, pushing him back step by step. When Baccia became weak, Laro struck hard and cut his neck. Baccia was completely destroyed. As the one who started everything, Aidan was taken away by the police. However, when Fanya woke up the next day, she once again saw her mother's figure inside the house. Alright, that is the end of today's story. See you in the next episode.